Money is not just numbers in a bank account. It is not just a salary, an investment, or a transaction. Money is energy, and energy flows. Or it doesn't. What most people don't realize is that your financial reality is not only shaped by what you do in the world, but by what you hold within your body. Here's the paradox. Your financial struggles may not be about money at all. They may be about your sexual energy. Think about this for a moment. Sexual energy is the most primal, creative, and powerful energy inside you. It's the energy that brings life into the world. It's the energy that fuels desire, passion, and creativity. Yet for so many people, this energy doesn't flow freely. It gets stuck. It gets buried under shame, guilt, trauma, and silence. And when that life force energy is blocked, your financial energy, your capacity to create, to manifest, to attract abundance, is blocked too. You might have felt it without realizing. Those times when you worked harder and harder, but money still slipped through your fingers. Those moments when opportunities seemed to appear for others, but never for you. Or when you finally gained some financial success, only to lose it as quickly as it came. And maybe at night when the world is quiet, you've asked yourself the haunting question, why does this keep happening to me? The answer may not lie in spreadsheets or strategies. It may lie in the energy center at the base of your body, your sacral chakra, your womb space, your creative core. Many of us carry hidden wounds there, early experiences of shame around sexuality, cultural teachings that told us desire is dirty, past relationships that left us feeling used, violated, or unworthy, even religious conditioning that equated pleasure with sin. All of it leaves imprints. All of it creates walls, and those walls don't just affect your intimate life. They choke the flow of money. Because sexual energy and money are not separate. They are two currents of the same river, the current of life force. When one is blocked, the other cannot flow. Imagine a river dammed by rocks. The water still exists, but it cannot reach the fields that need it. The land dries. The crops wither. And yet the solution is not to work harder on the land. The solution is to clear the blockage in the river. This is why so many people feel like they're hustling endlessly but never getting ahead. They are trying to fix the fields while ignoring the dam. They are working harder instead of healing deeper. This truth can be unsettling because it means that financial problems are not just out there in the economy, but in here in your body. But it is also liberating because once you see it, you can change it. Once you recognize that money is a mirror of your inner flow, you can begin the work of unblocking. So as we move through this journey together, I want you to set aside the idea that your bank account is just about effort, or luck, or external forces. I want you to consider, with courage and openness, that the hidden reason you keep failing financially is because your sexual energy is trapped, wounded, or leaking away. And when you begin to heal this energy, something extraordinary happens. The chains loosen. The river flows again. Money begins to arrive in ways that feel aligned, abundant, and natural, not forced. Because here is the great secret. Healing your sexual energy is not just about intimacy or relationships. It is about reclaiming your creative power, your sense of worth, your magnetism. And when you do that, the universe responds in kind. Opportunities appear. Wealth anchors. Life opens. This is not theory. It is energetic law. So let's go deeper. At its core, sexual energy is not about sex. It is about creation. It is the primal force of life itself, the same energy that paints galaxies across the night sky and blossoms flowers in the spring. Inside your body, it shows up as desire, vitality, magnetism, passion, and creativity. And money? When you strip away the coins, the digital screens, the contracts, is also a current of creative energy. Money is the physical echo of flow, the reflection of how much energy you can allow to move through you, and how much you trust yourself to hold. Carl Jung once said that, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Most people don't realize that their financial fate is being shaped by unconscious blocks in their most intimate energy center. Think of it like this. The sexual center is the generator. It's where energy is born, where it rises from. If that generator is clogged with shame or frozen by trauma, your entire system receives less power. Your thoughts dim, your creativity dries up, your sense of magnetism weakens, and your external world, your money, your opportunities, your relationships, mirrors that dimming back to you. It is like trying to power a city on a broken grid. No matter how much effort the people make, the lights will flicker, the machines will stall, the streets will remain dark. Until the grid is restored, the city cannot thrive. But here's the paradox. Society has conditioned us to see sexual energy as dangerous, dirty, or shameful. We are told to suppress it, deny it, or at least keep it hidden. And yet, in the same breath, we are told to chase success, wealth, and abundance. Do you see the contradiction? We are asked to manifest abundance while being taught to repress the very source of abundance inside us. This is why people feel like they are running in circles. They work harder. They strategize more. They chase money as though it lives outside them. But without realizing it, they are stepping on the hose that carries their life force energy. The water is there. The current is strong. But it cannot flow because their foot, their shame, their guilt, their wounds is pressing it shut. And so they hustle and they strive and they ask, why doesn't it work for me? Why do I keep failing financially, even though I do everything right? The deeper answer is not that the world is against them. The answer is that their inner river has been dammed. This is where ancient wisdom and modern psychology meet. The Stoics taught us that mastery of the self leads to mastery of life. Jung taught us that the shadow, those hidden repressed parts of ourselves, must be integrated, or they will sabotage us. And neuroscience shows that trauma, when stored in the body, literally changes our energy, our hormones, our vibration. When your sexual energy is blocked, your nervous system lives in a state of contraction, and contraction repels flow. You may call it resistance, you may call it bad luck, but it is simply your body broadcasting scarcity, because its most powerful energy source has been shut down. Now imagine something different. Imagine those chains cracking. Imagine red and blue energy, your creative, sexual essence rising freely through your body, transforming into golden light. Imagine that golden light radiating outward like the sun, drawing people, opportunities, and resources towards you without force. That is not fantasy. That is alignment. And the moment you reclaim this energy, you stop living in survival mode and start living in creation mode. You stop chasing money, and money begins to respond to you. Because the truth is simple, but profound. Your financial flow is a mirror of your energetic flow. Heal the energy, and the money follows. Picture a river. Wide, flowing, alive. When the current is unobstructed, it nourishes everything in its path. Villages thrive, crops grow, children play in its waters. But when the river is dammed, when boulders or debris block its course, the water stagnates. It grows murky. It breeds disease. And downstream, the land withers in thirst. This is your energy system. Your sexual energy is the headwaters of that river. When shame, fear, or unhealed wounds clog it, the entire downstream, your creativity, your relationships, your finances, dries out. You may not see the dam, but you feel the consequences. Now imagine another metaphor, a mirror. Every time you look at money, it is a reflection, not of your bank account, but of your inner state. Scarcity in your wallet often mirrors scarcity in your heart, in your body, in your willingness to feel safe in your own desire. If the mirror looks cracked, it's not the reflection you need to fight. It's the inner fracture that needs to be healed. The problem is, Many of us treat money as if it lives only in the outside world. We chase it like smoke, only to watch it slip through our fingers like vapor. But money, like energy, cannot be gripped with tension. It flows to the open hand, not the clenched fist. And here lies the reframe. Money is not earned only by effort, it is received through openness, and sexual energy is the master key that opens that door. Letting go of shame around your sexuality is not just about intimacy or pleasure. It is about unblocking the generator of your life force so that abundance can move through you without resistance. This is why some people can work tirelessly, following every strategy, yet still struggle financially. And why others, who radiate from a place of embodied wholeness, seem to attract opportunities almost magnetically. It's not luck, it's alignment. Think of the sun. It does not chase planets. It does not plead with the earth to orbit it. It simply radiates its energy, and the planets cannot help but be drawn into its gravitational field. In the same way, when you reclaim your sexual energy, when you allow red and blue energy to rise unhindered into golden radiance, you become magnetic. Money, relationships, creativity, they begin to orbit you. But here is the paradox. Most people fear their own power. They were taught that desire is dangerous, that passion is wrong, that pleasure must be suppressed. So they dim themselves, hoping to be acceptable, hoping to be safe. And in that dimming, they cut off the very power that could free them. The truth is, your sexual energy is not something to be feared. It is sacred. It is life itself. And when you reclaim it, not only does your body feel more alive, but your financial reality begins to shift as well. You move from scarcity to sufficiency, from chasing to receiving, from fear to trust. The lesson is clear. If you want money to flow, you must first allow your energy to flow. Heal the generator, and the current will reach every part of your life. Because the deepest block to abundance is not in your bank account, it's in your body. Imagine standing in a dark room. Around you, chains of light bind your body. Not heavy iron, but glowing strands that tighten every time you try to move. You struggle. You pull. The more you resist, the more the chains constrict. This is what blocked sexual energy feels like. Invisible to the eye, yet heavy on the soul. But now imagine you stop fighting. You breathe. You allow yourself to feel what is really there. The grief, the shame, the fear that has been hidden for years. And something extraordinary happens. The chains begin to dissolve. Not because you broke them with force, but because they were never solid to begin with. They were woven from suppression, from silence, from belief. And when belief shifts, the illusion shatters. This is the moment when energy begins to flow again. First as sparks in the lower body, like embers awakening in a fire that almost went out. Then as currents rising through the spine, red and blue waves twisting upward, merging into a golden light that radiates through the chest, the throat, the mind. And with this flow comes clarity. Suddenly, money doesn't feel like a desperate chase. It feels like a river you can step into. Opportunities appear not as accidents, but as reflections of your new frequency. Conversations align, doors open, synchronicities multiply. This is not magic in the sense of fantasy. It is resonance. Just as a tuning fork vibrates when struck near another in the same frequency, your reality vibrates in harmony with the energy you allow within yourself. Now imagine how different life becomes when you embody this. When instead of hiding your desires, you honor them. When instead of contracting, you expand. When instead of fearing your own body, you trust it as a sacred vessel of creation. Your relationships shift because you show up fully, unapologetically. Your work shifts because you are no longer just performing tasks. You are channeling energy. Your finances shift because money is drawn to clarity, confidence, and flow, not to fear and contraction. The river runs clear again. This is the transformation arc. moving from a place where money feels like a collapsing dream, here today, gone tomorrow, into a reality where abundance feels anchored, stable, alive. But here's the truth you must remember. Transformation does not come from adding more force. It comes from removing what blocks the flow. You don't need to become someone else. You need to remember who you already are. Just as the moon doesn't lose its light during the new moon, it only appears hidden. Your power has never been lost. It has only been veiled. And as the veil lifts, what was blocked begins to move, what was scarce begins to grow, and what was collapsing begins to stabilize. This is why healing sexual energy is financial healing, because you cannot be abundant externally while suppressing your abundance internally. The energy that creates life is the same energy that creates wealth. And when you open yourself to it fully, life responds in kind. Now let's go even deeper, into the heart of the lesson, where the shift becomes not just energetic, but existential. Think of a forest after rain. The soil drinks deeply, the rivers swell, the air feels alive. Every leaf glistens with light, every root grows stronger. That is what your life feels like when your energy is no longer blocked. There is a vibrancy that cannot be faked. People feel it when you walk into a room. They may not have the language for it, but they sense it, a quiet magnetism, a resonance that draws them closer. When your sexual energy flows freely, it doesn't stay locked in the lower body. It rises, weaving into your creativity, your confidence, your ability to trust yourself. Suddenly, ideas flow where once there was stagnation. You notice opportunities that were always there, but hidden behind the fog of contraction. You begin to act with clarity rather than hesitation. And the effect on money? It's profound. No longer does money feel like a distant mountain you are trying to climb. It feels like a current already beneath your feet, carrying you forward. Clients, opportunities, collaborations, unexpected income. They don't appear as miracles, but as natural outcomes of your alignment. Because money is not just currency, it is energy. And energy flows where it is welcomed, where it feels safe. When you are ashamed of your desires, money senses that shame and stays away. But when you embrace desire as sacred, money feels at home in your presence. Imagine sitting at your desk. In the past, you worked with tension, fearing mistakes, fearing rejection, fearing lack. Your shoulders were tight, your breath shallow. But now, after healing your energy, the same work feels different. You create from a place of flow. Your body is relaxed, your breath deep, your heart open. And in that space, productivity doubles, intuition sharpens, synchronicity rises. What once felt like a struggle now feels like play. Or imagine entering a relationship. Before, you may have carried wounds that made you hide or cling, afraid of rejection or abandonment. But with your energy unblocked, you stand in wholeness. You no longer need someone else to complete you. Instead, you share from overflow. And ironically, it is in this overflow that true intimacy deepens. And so it is with money. When you no longer chase it desperately, but radiate from a place of abundance, it comes willingly. Like a bird that lands on an open palm, money responds to safety, not pressure. Here is the great paradox. You were never meant to chase money. You were meant to align with it, and alignment begins with energy. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." The unconscious shame and repression around sexuality has been directing much of your fate, including your financial fate. But as you bring light to those shadows, as you honor instead of hide, you reclaim authorship of your story. And with authorship comes freedom. This is not only about wealth, it is about wholeness. Because money without wholeness is empty. But wholeness attracts both wealth and peace. So when you heal your sexual energy, you are not just stabilizing your financial life, you are stabilizing your very sense of existence. You begin to live from fullness, not lack, from radiance, not fear, from sacred alignment, not shame. And life itself, in its mysterious synchronistic way, begins to reward you. Pause for a moment. Breathe. Place a hand on your lower belly and another on your heart. Feel the subtle pulse that lives within you, the quiet current that has been there all along. This is your life force. This is the river that creates, that sustains, that provides. It has never left you. It has only been waiting for you to trust it again. The struggles you faced with money were never a sign of your inadequacy. They were a mirror pointing back to a deeper truth, that your energy was asking to be seen, healed, and honored. Your financial collapse was not punishment. It was a wake-up call, an invitation to return home to yourself. Think of how many years you've spent chasing, striving, hustling, believing abundance is always somewhere outside of you. But the entire time, the key was within. Locked not in the strategies, but in your body. Not in your plans, but in your energy. And here's the most liberating truth of all. The moment you decide to honor your energy, to dissolve the shame, to reclaim the sacredness of your desire, you begin to change everything. The chains fall away. The river clears. The gold begins to flow. From here, money is no longer a source of fear. It becomes a partner, a mirror, a tool for creation. From here, you are no longer a seeker lost in lack. You are a creator, standing in alignment with the infinite. Do you feel it? That subtle shift in your chest as you listen, that stirring in your belly, that recognition that something deeper is moving through you right now. That is not imagination. That is the energy beginning to flow again. And this is just the beginning. Your task is not to become someone new, but to remember the truth of who you already are, to step back into your wholeness, to let your red and blue currents rise into golden light, to let your body be a vessel, not of shame, but of creation. And as you do, money will follow, not as a savior, not as something you chase, but as an echo of your inner state. The more you allow yourself to be whole, the more life reflects that wholeness back to you. So, let this be your reminder. You are not broken. You are not blocked beyond repair. You are not destined to struggle. The flow has always been there. You only needed to remember. And if this message has stirred something inside you, let it be more than words. Let it be a turning point. Take a breath. Set an intention. Whisper quietly to yourself, I release the shame. I reclaim my power. I allow abundance to flow. If this resonated with you, I invite you to like this video and subscribe. Not for the algorithm, but for your own alignment. Every time you return to this space, you remind yourself of who you really are. This is not the end. This is a new beginning. The beginning of a life where energy flows, where abundance stabilizes, and where you finally live not from fear, but from truth. Breathe it in. Feel it. Claim it. Because the flow has already begun,